Okay, it is top of the hour and we have started streaming. So we are live.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone who's joining in live as well as in recording. It's good to see you on Tuesday night with Ted and Joseph here. And today we are tackling a couple of I shouldn't say tackle. It's more of a, what do we call it? Showdown. I
The
called it
showdown
the
sounds good.
yeah, the modeling and rendering challenge is what I had called it. But it
Are we
could
going are we going all the way through to rendering? Is that
I don't know.
I
It
think
could
that's a good challenge.
it is a challenge, but whether it finishes at MOD and then not even finish modeling versus, rendering or anything like that, we'll see. I'm
I think
more
we can get through it.
we'll get to somewhere and let's see where we get to. But hopefully along the way we are able to expose some tips and tricks, and I'm sure people are here for those cookies and goodies, and that's what I intend to show. Couple sort of housekeeping items. So first of all, this is a Tuesday show that we kind of gather around in 9 p.m. of CST, or I guess it's ahead of 1 hour ahead for Ted over here. But we try to do it every Tuesday so far. It's been good. We haven't had any fallout, but we discuss anything AEC, architecture, engineering, construction, and tech, and life, and some renderings and modeling, perhaps, and anything that's within our interest. And hopefully, we are able to discover some hidden gems, whether it be little tricks, tips, or just fun things to talk about. And I understand all of this will be available as a recording, so you guys could also watch even if you guys are sleeping or just too early in the morning at working. If time
And you know
doesn't work
what?
out.
I'm gonna propose something here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say after we're done with this, we should provide a download link to the models. I'll put it up on Google and let everybody have at.
Yeah, we could upload it to 3D Warehouse for that matter and see how.
Oh, that's true. I
May,
always forget.
yeah, and maybe we provide two links and see who has more downloads. maybe both of
I
us are
like it.
zero is very optimistic type of prediction. But we'll see. And also, there last week we had Justin on. We had a good talk about SketchUp extension. So if you
Yep.
haven't seen that video, please do check it out. There
That
was
was a
a
lot of fun.
lot of goodies that you are able to pick up, especially if you are a SketchUp user. And one extension I kind of forgot to mention because I had reached out and I really wanted to mention this, but we were just so in the moment that I completely forgot about it. So apologies on that. But here is a one extension. I'm just showing my screen here. But Ted, you had commented on this one too. I'm
I
not.
briefly mentioned it,
Yeah, so
but
it's
man, this is so nice.
yeah, so architectures. So architectures, I guess I'm saying that right. Architectures.org. I did mention this website before, haven't I, when we were discussing about
But it was a
renderings and material.
website.
So it is
Yeah.
based on websites, and I have showcased it on my channel as well as on the previous stream before. I don't remember which one exactly, but the theme is that this is more parametric material. I understand you're not seeing my screen. Sorry about that, but viewers are
No, I'm
seeing
seeing
it.
it.
Oh, you're seeing it? Okay.
Yeah, I got YouTube up.
Okay, cool. That works. But yeah, so this is somewhat parametric if people are coming from Revit side. That's what people call as a procedural. And basically you are able to tweak different aspects of the material, and basically customize any of the material that is
Hmm.
available, and they are seamless, and it's fantastic in terms of generating those typical
This
type of
comes in so handy to be
absolutely.
able to have a client sit there and talk to you about, oh, what would that look like in herringbone, and be able to do it that quickly instead of digging through a library of assets that you otherwise don't have loaded up, and maybe they want to see it in a dark color, maybe they want to see it it's so nice to have this.
Absolutely. And, I've used it a few times, but obviously there is a restriction for commercial usage. So I will hold that back unless you get the pro account. But I at least wanted to showcase to you guys because this is a great resource when it comes to getting your textures in a high resolution. It's just simple and just so
And
much is available.
I understand from one of the developers that they are working on some additional back-end assets that will allow for bump and normal mapping along with specular and the rest if you're into that sort of thing.
Yes, and if you own the pro account, yeah, the bump is
Yeah.
something that's included. Now, this is all great, and it's been that way. But recently, I came across this news where he was saying that he's developing a SketchUp extension. I still haven't tried it out, so I'm about to just download and install it so that I can actually test it out. But I'm expecting basically the same parameters that you can tweak inside of your SketchUp. Now, I don't know how that plays in terms of commercialability or commercialized asset where you can actually use for your commercial usage, but it's now built into SketchUp.
Yeah, and that's the other nice thing about this is in the past I've used their tool online and it'll limit the resolution size and that's fine. I was only tinkering around with it, but the process of pulling it from the internet to your uh, uh, workspace is always time consuming and problematic, and that's with any kind of asset allocation. So having this right there, right inside, and I think you're going to see more and more of this. I mean, you've got 3D Bazaar that's starting to do this with 3D assets. I don't know if you've messed around with that, Joseph.
Which one?
Um, 3D Bazaar. It's by the guys who did Scatter and Transmuter.
Oh,
It's more
really?
for 3D viz artists than anything
I
else.
know the
Um,
previous two extensions, but I wasn't aware of the third one, 3D Bazaar.
Yeah. Bazzar is how it's
Mm-hmm.
spelled, I believe. And it's like a warehouse of 3D assets. And when you pull it in, it works with, I believe, V-Ray 4 and V-Ray 5, Enscape, and Thea, but don't quote me on that. And yeah, he's got a bunch of Xfrog library plants. He's got a ton. I think he's got the entire Globe library in there. There's some good stuff. There's some really good stuff. So I'm excited to start using that a little bit more often.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, obviously, we'll drop things that we know or we find out every week as we go. It seems like, and just filling in some of the things that we missed out last week. And I have sort of the announcement to make. So this week we have a very first sponsor of the show, so which is MOVO, and that's perhaps something that you guys might have noticed that my microphone has changed and you've been hearing both of us through the same microphone. So, how's everyone receiving? If you're receiving, then I suppose this microphone is good. Our sponsor is good, right? So that's how I wanted to kind of spin that around, whether it sold or not. This microphone is UM700, and then it is a USB microphone, and you are able to monitor the sound. So I am monitoring my voice right here and making sure it sounds good. There are multiple pickup patterns, everything from stereo pattern to omnidirectional, cardioid, bidirectional, and also mute button is available, so we can mute
Mm-hmm.
ourselves during intro or outro. um, and also, I'm currently in cardioid pattern, and that seems to be the right one that I typically use. Are you on cardioid pickup pattern as well?
I am, and as somebody who knows very little about audio, this was kind of nice. Plug it in, set it up, and turn it on. I fiddled with the buttons a little bit and tested it out, but otherwise, I don't know what I'm doing. So this is perfect for me.
Well, keep everything in the middle, then you'll be fine, right? So,
Yep.
it's got a mute button up here on my side, and then there's a headphone volume dial, so I hear whether a bit more of my voice versus not. And also, as you can see, there are two more dials. One of them is a pickup pattern, the other one is a gain. And right now, I'm sitting about 60 to 65% of gain. And obviously, as you get further, just like how Ted is have it set up, you might want to increase the gain a little bit, and just so that you are picking up enough sound. But yeah, this is how it sounds like, and we're gonna roll with the show on this microphone. And I'm glad that we were able to get some sponsor in some ways, and get both of us hooked up with the microphone. And maybe we'll continue using this if this is seem actually good. I kind of, one of the aspect that I didn't expect to do so well is noise isolation. Not necessarily the background noise, but actually the rejection of any sort of keyboard and click sound, because the other microphone that I have been using,
Fix it all up.
as I type, I can hear in my headphone, and I know it is picking up on the microphone, so I have to be extra careful. But as I just type away, there isn't sort of a bouncing sound. There is a clicky sound
Mm-hmm.
that the keyboard is making, but there's no sort of a banging sound that is made by hitting the keyboard, because the microphone is stabilized.
Well, I'm
Well,
just glad it sounds better
well, for you,
than
it's
my
been
sad mic.
right, right. Well, I'm glad Imed, I guess I say Imed found the good microphone. So I'm glad you are able to hear us well, and hopefully all of you are receiving well. So I think that's enough for our plug for our sponsor. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and actually lastly, let me paste in the purchase link for this microphone. So a link in the chat if you are interested in purchasing that. It is an affiliated link, so it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps to support the channel. And moving on to the next topic. So the topic of today is, aside from all of these housekeeping stuff, is to do the showdown. And we have beautiful picture of. Do you want to do introduction of this piece?
Yeah. Yeah. So let me pull up an image real quick of this piece of furniture slash artwork slash technology. So tonight we are going to be doing a small showdown. Let's see, a window, modeling.
Ooh.
Ooh, So this is an RCA Victrola from between 1943 and 1945, maybe 1947. I'm not
Wow.
100% sure, and if anybody sees this and knows the age of this unit, but my neighbor couldn't bring it with them to their new apartment, and then said, "Hey, does anybody want this?" And I immediately perked up and said, absolutely. They didn't think it worked. However, with a little bit of tinkering, it works perfectly.
Oh
It only
wow.
gets AM, but the cool thing about it is it's new enough that it's got a single mono RCA jack in the back. So I hooked up a Bluetooth receiver to it, and it plays music beautifully. It is,
Really?
and it's amazing. I had to do a little cleanup on it, but it turned out really beautiful. So,
So I've
a little
seen some
history on it.
photos of a different angle, and you were kind enough to show me the back of it. That's where I became,
Yes.
well, there's a ton of tech behind it. I was
Let's
re
see. So let me. Oh, it turned off. Let's see here. I don't want to share my full screen just because if I do that, everybody will be upset because it's such a wide monitor. Look at that.
Yeah. I was trying
Yeah.
to like make up what everything was. And this is
Well,
interesting
so
piece of
this
technology
guy
here.
here is the AM radio receiver. Up here, you've got your tubes and your cathode ray tube on this side. Your essentially, it's just a whole lot of power that'll electrocute you if you're not careful. And the inside of it looks like a rat's nest. It is awful how they built this thing. I don't know how more people didn't burn their houses down with these, but it is also. I don't know how many years that is. 47 to 2021. Anyways, so yeah, it still has some of the resistors as rolled paper metal resistors on the inside. So, it's a pretty wild piece of technology.
That is so cool. And I think,
Yeah.
if you were to build some method to turn this into, more modern technology built into it as well, I think it would be so
Well, I mean,
cool.
that's it right there.
Well,
That little
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth receiver. I have to set it to record, but I'll throw my old jazz on, and it sounds perfect coming through a crackly old speaker like this.
I mean, because it has so much room, you can put like, I don't know, just Google Home behind it, and it's just a giant radio looking thing as a smart home device.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll be very puzzled.
So, all
Well,
right. So now that we know a little bit about the history of this,
mm-hmm.
do you want to start modeling it?
Yeah, I've got some photos as well, so I'll be referencing it, and I will also model. So we kind of discussed this briefly, but apparently there really isn't a way to show two screens at the same time at a same size. So we're gonna have to switch in between a bit. I guess whomever wants to be a bit more embarrassed could share the screen so that at a big size, so we all kind of see each other. How about I present my screen and
All right. Can we both present at the same time?
we can, but one of us will be smaller than the other.
There
So
we go.
so I see your screen bigger than mine. And once you stop, then mine will be bigger. Or I can pin myself. Actually, yeah, there you
Pin
go.
yourself. Yeah.
If I pin
There we go.
myself, then I show my screen. So why don't we just tackle this and then see how far we get up to.
All right.
Why don't we give ourselves, I don't know, 20 minutes, and then see where we're at. And
All right.
along the way, I'll be monitoring the chat and also trying
Well,
to
I'm going
explain
to start
some bit.
off by cheating and not using SketchUp at first because I always pull things into Photoshop first, as you can see.
Okay.
Because no photo is square. I don't know if you've ever realized, but I don't care how good a photographer you are, nothing's ever perfect. So
Oh,
I am going to tweak this slightly.
so you sent me raw photos that are not straight so that I need
Nope.
to spend extra time. Is that how it worked?
I said I was cheating.
Well, okay. Well, I hope you are using the right method in Photoshop to straighten your photos because it seems not.
Well, I don't know what the right method is. I've just been doing this for a decade.
Okay, so we're starting from Photoshop on
Well, you don't have to, but
okay, I need to re-download all of these images because I only have it in a Google Doc. So guys, if you're watching, we're starting from Photoshop apparently. So a couple tips when it comes to Photoshop, but go ahead, Ted. You do
pro
what you
tip,
yeah.
pro tip, if you're planning to do a model off, always start with Photoshop.
Sure. I'm downloading the
Throw your opponent off as game so that you have the advantage.
so much competition. All right. So I understand my monitor is a little bit high resolution, so you may or may not be able to see the buttons, but Ted's gonna be doing his thing and he may not be able to see me, so I'm just gonna show what I do. So on the crop tool, there is a perspective crop tool, and you're meant to do something like this so that you don't spend time like Ted, and then you can still make things flat. You just adjust things a bit on the corners, and then it's a lot easier to skew images, and then you hit enter once and then it's squared off. It's not really squared off, is it? So let's do a bit better job. Yeah, so that's what the perspective tool is for.
See, I don't use the perspective tool because I'm an old timer now, and we didn't have perspective tools like this when I was a wee lad in 7th grade learning Photoshop.
Were you in 7th grade when you were learning Photoshop?
Yeah, I think that was probably the most beneficial class I ever took growing up. In middle school, I took Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. And I think those two things were probably more influential on my career path than any other tool.
I think I've picked up Photoshop when I was in college, so there's a bit of difference. Tony said the sound quality must be crazy. I have no idea what that means, but I guess that means sound quality is good. And you've given me some measurement. So, guys, this is how Tony throws me off. He points at it, and I have no idea where that is. I guess that's the height of the device is 42-ish, but that's the only dimension that it's given me.
Well,
So,
if you have the height, then the rest should kind of come into play.
yes, of course.
So, well, I tried to make it as realistic to what a client would send you.
You know
Here's
what? I was gonna
half
say
the
that. I was
information
that
you
was
need.
the exact thing that I was gonna say. Like, you know, when you get a project and you know, ask client for site information or project information, you know, glimpse of pictures that may or may not be understandable is what you get. So I don't know. Well, why don't I dock this picture on one side so that everyone could kind of see what we are looking at, and then I'm just gonna push pull. 1 foot by 3 maybe, and then it was 45 inches. I hate conversion, so I just type in 42.5. All right.
Oh, that's right. You're used to metric, aren't you?
I mean, somewhat. I'm equally confused on both. Let's put it that way. I know some dimensions on top of my head in metric, and some dimensions on top of my head in imperial. So none is perfect, and I don't think I'll ever be.
This is not good enough.
So as we fudge our way through, I'm sure people could point out their little tricks or their method in doing something.
The term is not just good, but just good enough.
Yes.
Uh,
Are we photo matching this?
oh, you're gonna photo match?
No. I wasn't saying that. So, a couple things that people might. I am no longer. Huh. You just joined. I am no longer. Huh? I'm confused.
Oh no, I had to turn off my screen sharing and switch applications.
Okay.
So I apologize to everybody for. Let's see here. Go to.
I shouldn't be doing it this way. So we are going to make it somewhat elaborate.
I know it's not a SketchUp. Oh. I thought you could do that. File import. You used to be able to just drag and drop files.
Can you not?
I don't know. It yelled at me that this is not a SketchUp file. I'm like, I know it's not.
Image. Yes, you can.
That's what I thought.
Look, I just did it.
Oh, I see what happened. It didn't like that I had more than one image.
Oh, yeah, it would not like that.
Rude. SketchUp's getting sassy.
So we're taking apparently completely different routes in doing this, which is interesting from viewers' point of view.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how two people model the same thing at the same time. And I'm trying not to watch. Trying not to watch your screen either. So
I'm focused on mine, but I'll occasionally glance at yours.
No screen looking.
Okay. I have not done that since like middle school. Screen hacking or screen looking.
007. There's always that one guy in your team effort on GoldenEye. It's like, don't look at my screen.
I was referring to more like StarCraft reference of looking at your teammates' base, but I don't know. I don't know how many people could agree to my reference.
I haven't thought about that game in ages. Okay, let's see here.
Okay. I'm trying to... Well, Sophie, someone who joins our stream very often, which I'm very thankful for, says it's somewhat therapeutic to watch us modeling. Well, I hope so, because it isn't for me. This is somewhat stressful because I don't like when people watch me model or do something, especially work related. When there's two of my colleagues just looking over my shoulder, I get nervous and nothing goes right. Just like what I'm doing right now.
It's like me during a webinar.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
All right, that looks close enough. Let's see here. How do I want to attack this? Start from the top.
So a little tip here, you double click to select the face and boundary edges, single click to deselect the face, and then I can hold down Control key and Shift together to just select the path that I want. And then I do that, paste in place, which is not a typical short key. I don't know, I'm doing a little bit of tutorial here. And then follow me tool to do that. And then just have that piece. And all I need to do is make sure I fill in the rest of the thing. And then, by the way, if you guys are wondering anything, I'm happy to explain as I go. And here is a little tip. It's a tip that I had shared in 2 streams ago when we had the idea to share some of the extension tips. But once you kind of clean this up, even though I have cleaned up on this side, if we go to back face turned on, you see how there's extra bit of edges and whatnot that are still within the volume. Select all, merge faces, merge edges, merge all the lonely vertices, run the face again, so that I have a completely solid and cleaned up volume. And Ted is hearing none of this because he's
I'm
focused
having
on
none of it.
his. Yeah. And that is definitely not the shape that I was going for. Goodness, that's what happens.
Let's see here.
Maybe we can use that for the bottom as well. So next week, by the way, we have a guest speaker whose name is Dan Stein. He is a friend of mine who's well invested in the world of Revit and Enscape. So it is going to be quite interesting. He's got slightly different background than what I have and what Ted has. So it would be fun to have him on board.
Let's see here. Get this profile right. There.
Are extensions allowed, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I have been using them. I should have asked before.
No extensions.
No extension.
I'm allowed to use extensions, not you.
Okay, I see how it is.
Come on. There we go. Fine art. That many.
So obviously, if you plan this ahead of time by just like really looking at it and studying the shapes and all, I'm sure you can do it a lot easier, but...
Oh, yeah, but what's the fun in that?
Right. You have to troubleshoot and figure out how you're going to model such thing. And I'm sure some woodworkers are looking at this like, why are you modeling it that way? Or it's not like that. I don't know how to do the flaring trim. How do you do the top flaring trim?
Up here?
No, I mean...
I just did a...
I could do a follow me, but it's not completely rounded. It has that detail that is... I know. Well, I'll try something.
Oh, you're talking about this area over here.
Yes.
Double arc?
Yeah, the double arc. I don't know how I'm supposed to do double arc. That's not
However you want to do it.
I'm trying to...
Group. Make that a component.
No cheating, Joseph. No cheating. I have no idea how to do double arc. I'm not a woodworker. Maybe start somewhere there. Help me, guys. Help me. Help me.
Help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope.
Star Wars.
By the way, my jokes are going to get worse the longer this goes. So.
Well, we're going to cap it. So, in terms of... Man, I can't...
Well, so far, you've got the majority of it done, and I've got the top.
No, I don't have the top. My first portion was top, but then I can't figure out the double curve thing. Maybe I look at different photo. There was a top-down view, wasn't there?
Look at the top view, yeah.
Top view with Ted's toes. That works.
Please don't look at my toes. I'm very self-conscious about my toes.
Okay. All right, I'll hide your toes. There you go.
Please crop them. I'm joking, but also I have ugly feet, so please crop them.
Okay, sure.
You're gonna end up on some weird website now.
Oh goodness. Okay, let's not get there. I don't know what you're thinking, but that's not.
This is a family show. I'm sorry.
Was it? Somebody's going to tell me that I'm doing this completely wrong.
Nobody's going to tell you anything, Joseph.
See, Sophie, this is not therapeutic at all. Because I make myself look like I have no idea what I'm doing.
That makes two of us. The best part about modeling while everybody's watching. I mean, on the bright side, it's only a handful of people. So.
Yes. Sophie says, I reckon you could draw adjacent small curves at a tangent to the existing ones that make sense. You're ruining it for her. Okay. I think that's kind of like what I done. Not sure if that's entirely right. But I'm using weird extensions to make it somehow. This is not double curve now that I think about it. It's like triple curve, isn't it?
Well, pull the top piece in and just copy the shape.
Pull what?
Pull the image of the top piece in like I'm doing here.
You're tracing it?
Yeah.
I don't like.
Come on, Joseph. The rule is work smart, not hard.
I know.
All right, let's see.
I mean, that's somewhat got that. I kind of have it, but I'm not really satisfied with this thing. But with given time, we're gonna have to roll with it, aren't we? So, actually, that is supposed to be straight. So, Tony's probably laughing at this. I can feel it. I can feel his laugh. I think I have it. I think. Only just. Tony says, I am absolutely right. Yes, you are having a good time because of me.
So I'm working on those little fluting details now on the side.
I believe you. I'm not looking at yours. What is happening?
How many fluties are there?
Fluties.
Okay. Fluties. 1, 2, 3 fluties.
I love these names. Fluties.
That's a technical term?
I believe you. Yes, sure. Another pro tip in healing the edges. Draw another edge and then erase it. That heals, supposedly heals. It didn't this time, obviously. Oh, there's a hidden edge, maybe? Or just run the extension. When in doubt, use Fredo's tool. And then select this edge. Select that curve, make sure it's deleted. Make sure this is not selected. Okay, what is happening?
That looks good enough. Boop, boop, boop. All right.
Okay.
Feeling very stressed out now.
We are increasingly having less talk on the Let's Talk Tuesday. I partially blame you.
Me.
Yes.
It's all my fault. I'm used to it.
Yes. Client says it's my fault.
My wife says it's my fault too, so.
I said
Styles.
20 minutes for myself to finish my boathouse model. Okay. I don't know if Tony's just bragging and just rubbing.
Here. All right, the like bottom portion of this is the most stressful part. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet.
Tony's doing a boathouse? Now that I come to think about it. A boathouse. I think I got most of the details on top. How do I go to the other photo? Come on.
Oh, let's see here. So I've got line up, up. Oh no!
Oh.
I hate when that happens. You start drawing and you're not on a face.
Oh, not gold planar.
Worst. Where was I?
What is that elaborated?
What
did you say the word was? The technical term?
A fluty thing.
A fluty thing. Okay.
Gotta do the fluty thing. All right. Do.
Doing the fluty thing.
Fluty? You're doing the fluty thing?
Yes.
Fluty thing's difficult. It's
got
really not.
I got
You
it.
do it.
I think I got it. I think I got it. Yes, I got it. "20 minutes." Tony's saying we are motivating him.
Are we at 20 minutes yet?
I think we are.
Didn't we surpassed 20?
Didn't we start at 20? So right now it's 44. So we're about 25 minutes in. How are we doing?
Great question.
Well, as we go, we fudge our way along. Here's how I'm gonna do this. So it looks like my client has not given me a good picture of the base. So as far as the fluty thing goes, I'm going to...
Client doesn't have a good picture of the base on his end either.
Right.
In his defense.
Obviously, he has no idea what to do. So I'm gonna...
I mean, this client's pretty useless, let's be honest.
Yes.
Had some bad clients in my day. This guy's the worst.
And this client gave me only 20 minutes to model things, right? So...
What a jerk.
I want to flare this out. How do I flare this out? Maybe. Reverse it. Yes. We're increasingly saying much less on where I am about my modeling process. There were a couple of like good moments. I was like, maybe I should say what I'm doing right here, but I'm like, no, I'm
okay.
I want to get
I get too into it and I can't talk while I'm into it. Let's see.
Omar said, unfortunately, I'm about to drive to work. Gonna listen only. Seems fun. Somewhat. Don't worry, you're not. You can also watch later. Um,
No, not export. Go away. Explode.
Google how to explode models in SketchUp. That'll actually tell you how to do it.
So now I'm using some plugins. Select only edges. My favorite thing.
And you don't need to do that because you can just double click, deselect the edge, follow me, or
I needed all the edges. Okay, all right.
I'm gonna unpin mine so people could see yours. Ah, I should have done that earlier.
12.
I should have done that like every 5 minutes, just flip back and forth. We're all learning as we go.
That's okay. I'm not holding it against you.
Okay, explode. Soften that. Okay, so my plan was to somehow do the solid.
All right, so now the hard part is going to get this shape.
What?
It's going to be to get this. So the shape that I'm working on the bottom here, there's this, you can only see it on this side in the dark. There's this like swoopy bit that is coming down and over and yada, yada, yada. So I'm kind of guessing here.
Yeah, we're all guessing. Because I don't have this furniture.
The other thing is, like, I look at this piece every once in a while because it's not in our house.
Oh. Is it not?
It's in a rental property.
Oh, I was gonna blame you for
No,
like
no,
I don't
every day.
like
I'm not
this,
gonna cheat that hard.
this is like something that you see every day and I don't, so obviously, I'm gonna have less mental picture of what this is
Now,
supposed to look like.
in your defense, I do have like intimate knowledge of this thing after spending many hours putting it back together and taking it apart and everything else. But I don't see it every day, and I've never modeled it before, so.
Yeah. It's okay, I forgive you.
Thanks.
Getting
concerned about that, honestly.
I like our conversation. It's fun.
Okay, so I've got that. Mirror it because I want the same shape on both sides.
What are you doing, Joseph?
Right.
Are you really saying that this is how you model, Joseph? For your client? They'll be baffled. They'll be baffled. The way you have been modeling all along. Where is my tangent? Want my tangent? Come on.
That base is difficult. You know what? I'm gonna say the heck with that.
I thought if I were to scale it, it was going to scale uniformly on curve, but for some reason it didn't. And
what are you trying to scale?
Nah, don't worry about it. You do you. Nah. I got this. I think.
You got this. I believe in you.
Oh, crud.
You are the man.
I am the man. I am a man. We're gonna get into this so much that we're just gonna go past our time, and
Oh yeah, we're at 10:52 already, so
yeah.
I'm okay with going a little late tonight if you are.
For the name of finishing something, I think that's aren't we like how we get through a project? It's just like just plow through and
Oh
see.
no, I should have saved. Oh, no crash.
Oh yes, save it, guys. Save. I'm saving right now. This is what are we calling it? Radio?
I'm just calling it radio.
All right, Radio 01 is what I called it.
All right, that looks good.
Okay, so the plan was to use a solid tool to somehow make this into a shape.
So, that's difficult. This is. I'm surprised at how much more difficult this actually is than, because I was like, oh, this should be easy.
I thought you gave us an easy task too. I'm completely mistaken.
It's all these little like fillets and like fluting and all the details on it. I mean,
the fluty thing.
The fluty bits, yeah. I mean, that's what's so great about these old pieces of furniture slash.
Why can't
equipment.
I scale it? Oh gosh, I'm gonna watch this again.
Oh, that's what it is.
In the name of fluty things.
Yes.
I think that looks about right. Let's soften.
Bits and chips. Let's see. Delete that line. There we are.
Save it before I run Solid Tools. Solid Tools, where are you? Solid Tools, Solid Tools. Use this to subtract. Or trim. Is this not solid? Oh, it's not solid. Why are you not solid?
Oh, where did it go? There we go. Oh, yes, it is. It's solid, you liar. Oh, that is. We're both having the same fight with SketchUp. Like, why is it that their bool tools are always so frustrating?
Well, I figured it out because it had an extra lonely edges, and I was able to eradicate it by some of my extensions. What did you do? Can you trim? Where is that? Oh, that's trim. Can you trim this one, that, and that? See, SketchUp does funky trimming. You see how? Oh gosh! Oh, what have you done, SketchUp? What have you done to me? Give me extra piece to play with.
Let's see what's left. Well, that actually did all right. All right, that'll do. We'll never see that close to it.
I think I did the complete opposite. What were you doing, Joseph? That was very, very embarrassing. All right.
Right. Hey, that's looking okay. All right, let's go back to front of this thing. There it is.
Exploded and regroup and then scale. Thanks, Omar. I thought you were driving.
Omar's modeling while he's driving.
Giving me tips whilst he's driving.
Now that's a real hero. Okay. Please pay attention to the road, Omar.
No distracted driving. What is going on here? Okay. I know what I'm doing doesn't make sense, but I'm sure it will very soon. If anyone's looking at my screen. Actually, I should have flipped. Sorry, pinned my screen so people could see what I'm kind of doing. Split. Trim.
Right. Let's see here.
Oh, and after then starting next week, the following week after that will be no other. Aaron Ditson would be on the show.
That will be a fun one.
That will be. Maybe we should do this with him and see how it goes.
No, I don't want to do this with Aaron. He's too good at this.
Actually, yeah. You know what? He professionally does this, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets paid to do this on a regular basis. I don't want to do this with him.
Okay, he has many practices, so I'm not gonna. Okay, never mind.
The last time I did a model off was in Steamboat Springs, and I lost, I think, to Chris Fulmer.
Oh, really? What did you?
I think I was so angry at myself because I modeled. It was you pulled a modeling thing out of a hat, like the thing that you were modeling out of a hat, and then you had to model it. And I got something like model a duck. I'm like, how am I supposed to model a duck in SketchUp? I think he free-handed it. The other thing, I'm a PC guy, not a Mac guy, so there was a whole lot of issues. I think I was set up. They're like, this guy Ted, we're gonna take him down a notch.
It was a setup.
He's been complaining on the forums. He and his V-Ray guys, we're gonna take them down a notch.
All right. For giving us all of these weird bugs that
That's exactly what it was.
Okay. I can see it. I mean, if you're up against Chris Forma, I'd say you need to you're set up at that point. I realize this is not based this way. It is also a profile. Gosh darn it. You'll never see it. Never. No, you didn't see that part. Never mind. How am I doing, guys?
You're doing great.
I think that shape is pretty good there. I'm gonna do the fluty thing at the bottom.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, a fluty thing is the technical term.
Says Ted.
Mm-hmm. I'm the leading expert on fluty things here.
Okay, Ted Fluty Vito. Maybe Bezier curve. We are giving
Bezier curve. Oh man, he's getting real fancy now.
I was trying to use it earlier, but just couldn't get it to look right. Like this to somewhere here.
Tony's giving us props for comedic entertainment here.
Yeah, absolutely. For some reason, I can't snap to... Oh, gosh. Why is this happening to me?
What can't you snap to? What's wrong?
Scale tool doesn't snap as I had intended to do. And that shouldn't be like that. It wasn't like that. Huh. I guess I didn't set my insertion point correctly. So far, 10 for entertainment is what Tony's saying. I'm glad we're at least amusing. I mean, on the description where for the show, I did say come in for our embarrassment. So I did predict this.
Center.
I'm gonna do the fluty thing and finish it and call it a day.
What? What?
And just admire your work. You see, this is a part I don't understand. You put two solids together and it becomes not solid.
That's, par for the course with SketchUp.
It's upsetting.
It's so frustrating sometimes using the bold tools in that. It should just work, but it doesn't.
When you subtract solid out of solid, it should really be solid. When you uniform two solids together, it should be solid. But no, in SketchUp logic, it isn't. Trim that, subtract. Yeah, got the fluty thing. All right, I'm gonna slap the front, purge it, save it, make all of this into a single group.
Flip it, bop it, slap it.
Where is that from?
Don't remember the bop it?
Sorry, I grew up in the wrong country.
Oh, that's true. That's a culturally significant thing to the 90s in the USA.
Yeah, that's something I say to everybody who uses references that I have no idea what.
I'm gonna send you a bop it then.
Okay, thank you.
Your kids will love it.
Is that like some sort of Sesame Street thing?
No. So it's like this game that has all these knobs and buttons on it, and it calls out what you're supposed to do. It's kind of like Simon Says,
right?
But a toy, and you've got a twisty thing and a bop it thing, and like some other things, and it yells out what to do, and it gets faster and faster and faster until you can't do it anymore. Yeah.
I think I'm pretty close.
No.
Did you lose it? Don't lose it. Save it.
No, it's open line works.
By the way, MOVO, thanks for sending me this cup.
Now, the question is, what are you drinking today?
Water. Agua.
Good for you. Should probably drink more of that.
Yes, absolutely. Slap the picture, scale it. This is like by far the easiest way, and now I'm noticing that my thing isn't really to the scale, which is not a problem because...
All right, we're at 11:07. When do you want to stop it?
as soon as I slap this on. um, and apparently I've been... and then explode this for as a texture. Now I can... nobody's shouted for like extensions or short keys that we're using.
I don't think I've used anything except the mirror tool. And mirror tool and what was it? Selection toys. Those are the only two I've used so far that I can think of.
I've used plenty in the background as a shortcut, so...
All right.
I think that's all right. Okay, now time to make it projected texture. Oh, I got the wall. Darn it. It's apparent that I don't do this very often.
What's that?
It's very apparent that I don't do this very often. Modeling off of pictures.
Oh, this is one of my favorite things to do, honestly.
Really?
Yes, I love doing this.
I think, if I were to be paid, I think I would like to do it too. It is somewhat therapeutic. You can really zone out. It really is. I think that's it. I think I got it.
Ah, you calling it?
I'm a few clicks away. I don't like that. What about you?
I am.
Are you close?
Almost done. Unhide.
I did not do that right. I don't like that. Maybe. Um,
All right. I think I'm about there.
you know what? I'll go back. All right. I'm just going to leave it there. That is good enough for me.
Not just good, but just good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move this to axes.
This frustrates me. How do I go back in a mode where I can flip through the photo? Zoom. Where is the zoom? Oh. Maximum zoom.
Maximum effort.
Oh, there you go. How are we?
Okay.
This is what I got. Oh,
There
well,
we go.
rendering's easy, right? Not a sponsor, but rendering's easy. And I don't have a license, apparently.
Aw.
How did that happen, Joseph? You're not maintaining your license. That's embarrassing. Inkscape. My license ran out, by the way.
Yeah, I'd say that works.
Yeah. Put it in the room.
Let's see here. Throw some reflectivity on it.
Uh-huh.
See albedo for bump. I'd say that's reasonable.
Oh, cool. Yours is all because you've got the arches. You've got very far. Okay, I'm gonna unpin myself so we can see Ted's amazing work. Yeah, your buttons look good.
Where my Inkscape went. There it is. Yeah.
Good job, Ted.
Yeah, I'm happy with this one.
Uh-huh.
Throw some finishing touches on it, and I think that'll do all right.
Oh, quickly, since we got this thing, custom assets.
Oh.
Shall we do it?
You can't do custom assets from SketchUp.
Yes, you can.
Unless
I did the tutorial on it.
Or are you saying you have to export out as an OBJ and then pull it back in? Or oh, that's too many steps.
No, it's the way. It's the way. Okay, let's do it. You guide me through as I do this. Pin myself.
Okay.
First of all, let's export it. I've done this tutorial before.
I believe you. I believe you, and I know the process. I'm just like, why can't I just open the custom assets window and say import this thing?
And it doesn't help the fact that my Inkscape license ran out.
Oh, phooey. That's right.
Inkscape.
Oh, that's why it looks funny.
Custom assets. Maybe.
All right.
Does this work without license? That's weird. Okay.
I mean, the core functionality should still.
Custom asset does work. Huh. Wait. Why can't I? Okay. I was like, why can't
Did you export it as a collada file or an OBJ?
OBJ. Do it
All
as an
right.
OBJ. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Documents, Enscape. This is where I do custom assets. Select folder. Next.
Let's see. Oh, see, because I'm sharing a window, I can't show what I'm doing.
No.
That's annoying.
Save and close. Okay. Oh. My.
Uh-oh, custom assets is not liking this. Import geometry. Desktopy. Radio.
So you were doing this, and I was saying you need to press number 5 or numpads to snap to views.
Yeah, that actually. Numpad 5, you said?
Yeah, 4, 5, 6. Those are like the top view, front view.
Oh, I don't have a numpad on any of my laptop or on any of my keyboards.
On your laptop?
No, I've got the shortened. What is it? 190.
Really? Yeah, no, you have to use numpad.
No numpad. It's rude. It's very rude.
And my scale's off too.
Yeah, why does it do that with the scale all the time?
So you're supposed to export it. Okay, don't save. So when you're exporting, there are a few options that you need to look for. I just did this kind of hastily, but in the options, make sure it is done as meters. And then also export Y is up. Make sure that's checked. Okay, radio, yes. So if anybody's listening, we are going over custom assets apparently.
Yeah, it's something to do.
Yeah. Asset library, custom assets, create asset. And then I think people have liked more if we advertise the whole session as custom asset.
Potentially.
Yeah. Numpad.
All right. Hopefully we're still at 10 for entertainment.
Yes. Hopefully. And then, yeah, that's it. I mean, I could do a bit more albedo, use albedo. And whilst I can't run Enscape, I can run custom assets. And then add a bit more metallic reflection. No, reduced roughness. I'm sure Tony's a lot better in this subject than me, actually, now that I think about it. And this texture here, the wood. I can't use albedo on this one, but I can increase that one too.
Hey, that's not bad. All right, got my custom asset. I didn't change the scale.
And you can do the placeholder geometry if you would like.
I've never done the placeholder geometry. Boxes are fine for me.
Yeah, there's a little bit of trick on that. So save the project, custom assets, save. It's advised that you don't change the name of it, and then close out of it. Actually, let me go here and then just take this geometry, come out, push pull, and then push pull to the bottom of it. Why is this reversed?
Good.
Okay. So you hide everything besides the placeholder geometry. And then do the export. Then you can do it as a obj placeholder. And then from the asset library. Oh, crud. I didn't save it. Okay.
That's the only thing, is it's very time consuming.
No.
Like, I really like the just auto generate general proportions, like in what is it? Face skipping inside of Transmuter and SketchUp and V-Ray and things like that. I prefer that methodology just because it's faster and I don't really care what the object looks like in my scene.
Right.
But
Oh,
that's me.
that's because something like Revit, you want to make sure your asset looks somewhat adequate. Because any of these custom assets actually work in Revit.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. We never work inside of Revit, or we very, very rarely work inside of Revit, so it's not as big a thing for us. But
I gotta pose it
right.
for thumbnail. There you go, thumbnail. Save the project. Generate asset. Asset generated. Now I have a radio. Cool.
Nice work.
Nice work, guys.
Well, I think that's a pretty good place to stop. 11:20-ish, 11:23. We went a little
Yes.
over with some other stuff, but overall, I mean, that was a good model to work on for an hour.
Absolutely. And I liked how we got to custom assets even and
Yeah.
spoke about that. So maybe this will help. Custom
I mean,
asset library.
I think the only thing that I would probably do different if I were modeling this with some time, generally speaking, I try and keep any kind of asset modeling that's a project related asset to an hour, because the client usually doesn't want to pay for more than that.
Right.
But sometimes it takes longer. The goal is to try and get an asset close enough that we can use it. Doesn't always work out that way, but we try. If I were to do this over again, I'd probably model it a little bit more like how it's built. So I would section out each of these elements as a thing that is going to be individually textured. I wouldn't texture it with the picture. With a few exceptions, I'd probably use this glass section here, and any of this texturing is perfect. I'd keep this, the knobs, the dials, and probably some of this frontage stuff.
That
But
looks good. Yeah.
a mixture of that plus everything else. This is a great asset for, let's say this is in the background of a scene. You're never going to see it up close, and it's perfect to add a little extra something if that's an element in a rendering that is important to the client. Then go for it. Yeah, that's perfect.
Do you mind if I use this radio as any sort of tutorial later on in videos?
I expect compensation for that. I'm
Okay.
sorry, but no, of course you can. Please use it as much as you want.
Yeah, because I was planning on doing some custom asset library tutorials, and I think this makes a very good case. I've used chairs and tables before, and I think showcasing it like this is useful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we can even with custom asset library, you can actually put a video material too. So you can actually replace this screen with some different type of video, if you may.
I didn't realize that the custom assets worked like that. That you could have video textures. Interesting.
Yeah, Phil Reed mentioned that he was making like an arcade machine, and he has a recording of like Galaga or Space Invader type of thing, and then you can just play it. It's so cool what he's done.
Yeah, that's pretty nifty. I can see there being a lot of value to stuff like that, especially with TV screens. Just got to watch with what you put on the TV screen. Make sure that you have rights to it, and make sure that everything's above board. That's the only difficult part.
Yeah, so what I would advise is, well, I'm gonna replace this screen with some of my YouTube videos. Then I have no problem in that. So,
Perfect.
yes, yes. Yeah, I think that is it for today. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Stop sharing. Okay. So I think that is it. Again, next week we are due with Dan Stein, who's going to join us for a good chat. Obviously, there may be some things about that he knows, but obviously we want to talk about anything that we're just really interested in, either something
Yeah.
about industry, something about we believe in, something about our lifestyle. I just really enjoy having the conversation and talking to different people, and also Ted here. So, um,
Ahmad just brought up AR for architecture, and that's something we haven't touched on yet.
I
So
mean, we did
maybe that becomes a
VR,
topic.
and AR. I think it's a bit further than VR in terms of the reach and practicality.
Maybe I'm starting to get asked about it though. I've had a couple of clients approach us about, hey, what are the opportunities here? So
Yeah,
maybe there's some value
good
about it.
topic suggestion. I'll actually note that. Um, Yeah. So next week we will do it at the same time with Dan Stein. If anyone is watching this in recording, we do this 9 p.m. CST and Central Time. But if you're unable to join us, obviously you're welcome to watch in recording. We also appreciate any comments. If you have any topic suggestions, please leave it in the comments. I'll be happy to look at and also consider for future topics or any guests that you would like to see. That might be something that you could request as well. So, with that, I think that is it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining and watching. Is there anything else you want to say, Ted?
Not right at the moment. Everybody enjoy the rest of your evening.
Bye bye.